have a look at the umpire there. He's, I think he's going to signal a wide, because the no ball, the arm didn't come out straight away. It was after conferring with his colleague. I don't know, we'll get Tina Moyer in the back here. He's going to dig up the laws of the game and let us know what's going on. Tendai Chitara, so he finishes his quota, 7 overs, 1 for 35 in the end. And at the current rate, 169. We'll hope that it's around about that 180 mark. 2 overs remaining, at least 10 in each of the overs. That'll be a pretty handy score, I reckon, in this particular surface, these conditions. Pity about the rain-reduced game, but can be pretty happy with the way they've fought back here, the United Arab Emirates. Right, penultimate over, Donald Tirapano. Digs it into the pitch, and this time he's got all of it into the crowd. That's a terrific shot from Naveed. He's had a few dress rehearsals. On this occasion, right out the centre of the willow.
Good connection there. Mohamed Naveed, I did speak about being a little bit too predictable, constantly going into the wicket. We'll have a look at the replay. Pace off, and he's batted that. Good execution. 2 very big overs for both teams.
Yeah, he got all of that. It's a long boundary out there, as we have been mentioning. You have to really get it out the centre of the willow to carry all of 85 metres out there. So that's a terrific strike from Naveed. Well, then consultations between captain and bowler, but no real field change. Although maybe Donald Tirapano is just asking for a little field change on the leg side. So mid-off is going to go back, and square leg, who was out, is going to come in by the umpire. There he is on the right of your screen. 3 on the offside. This time he's gone over the offside. There is a man out on the boundary. He's coming around and takes it. I tell you what, I thought he had misjudged it. I thought he had made a meal of that. But in the end, Timson Maruma, I think it is out there, has made the catch. He overran it slightly and then was able to adjust at the last minute and make the catch.
Looking for the Orca, I've missed his length. It's gone a mile in the air. And Timson Maruma, one of the better fielders, he's got a great pair of hands on him. Never easy, these ones. Made it look comfortable. A little bit of a slip. But very important for Zimbabwe. They needed that breakthrough. Mohamed Naveed, he's played a good hand. 10 off 6 balls. They're now 165 for 6.
Next batsman for the UAE, CP Rizwan.
Very well bowled, Donald Tirapano. He's got some good variations. He's followed him, he's gone hard into the wicket. Batsman looking to give himself some room. There's only 9 balls left in the innings, so they need to capitalise on each ball here. New batsman, CP Rizwan. Very new to international cricket.
Now goes across the stump, swings it away on the leg side. Fine leg is back though, and it's to that man who's back on the field as well, Kyle Jarvis. That's good to know, he's back on. Got it taped up, so he will bowl the last over. Conceded 6 off the first over, and when that happens as a bowler, you're under the pump. But he's come back really well. Wicket with a second one, and then a dot ball and a single. Excellent comeback this from Donald Tirapano. Right, first ball this for Rizwan, the new batsman. Tried to give him trouble, the scorers, to try and invent a stroke, try to find the boundary. But Donald Tirapano with another slower ball has got his number.
Yeah, pace off again. Right shot was on, just execution in, just skewed it off the side of his bat. Rizwan, he's gone first ball without scoring. UAE now 166 for 7.
Zahoor Khan, who's the new batsman for the UAE. 13 matches for him, nothing much to speak of insofar as average and strike rate. Best of 16. And they're 7 down, the UAE, so probably not going to get as many of these overs as they would have liked. Courtesy of the way Donald Tirupanu in particular has bowled. 3 wickets for him in his spell. 7 overs, 3 for 34. 1 over remaining, 166 for 7.
Kyle Jarvis to bowl the final over. He's been really good today. He set the tone up front, struck early. He'll be looking to close out the innings.
Yeah, just 2 big scores there, 56 and 72. Who knows what might have been if they'd batted their full 50 overs. But they've come back well, the Zimbabweans. Rain-affected game, reduced overs. Here's the last over of the Zimbabwe fielding effort. Jarvis. It's in the slot, it's up in the air. Will this be another wicket? Yep. Safe pair of hands. Sean Williams again. He's already taken 1 comfortable catch in the outfield. On this occasion, not so comfortable. Had to make at least 10, 15 metres, maybe even more to his right. He's a natural left-hander, so going to his wrong side. And in the end, he's put in a little dive for safety, but it's taken a good catch.
Yeah, Jarvis looking for the Yorker. Missing his length, but miscued, mistimed it. Looks like it is going to fall in the gap. Sean Williams, he's got some pace, covered some great ground there. Fielded really well there, Sean Williams. I feel these are his best ODI figures at the moment, 6 for 8.
Yeah, they're falling away at the end here, the UAE. They had 6 overs to try and take full toll, find as many boundaries as possible. And they've just lost wickets at regular intervals. Remember, they were 3 wickets down going into this little phase. So they've lost 5 wickets. Imran Haider is the new man to the crease, batting at number 10, best of 18 not out. He's got 5 balls to try and make a dent.
Yeah, gone short ball option. Batsman comfortably missing it.
It's Khan on strike. It's amazing whenever a bouncer goes past a tail ender and he misses it, he immediately turns to the square leg umpire going, come on umpire, it's wide, surely. It's over shoulder height, it's over my head. No ways I could have made contact with that.
Field Kyle Jarvis, he needs to attack the poles. He's batting number 10, he bats number 10 for a reason. I've looked to him to close out the innings, back as Yorker, finish the innings, get 5 up, put your team in a great position, take the momentum into your batting.
Thank you for that, Brendan Taylor. Simple, concise, to the point. Let's see if Kyle Jarvis has got that similar sort of mindset. He's gone short again, it's up in the air, put it down. There was interference there, a lot of interference. I reckon the captain, PJ Moore, had it covered all day long. And Irvin, why on earth is he put in a dive like that? Totally put him off, maybe even deflected it. And in the end, they've made a real hash of that.
Yeah, Irvin, he's definitely done his captain lucky kipper. He's gone pace off, cross seamer, I think. Comfortable catch to PJ Moore at mid-off. Oh dear. Cost him 5 potentially.
Again, he's gone for the length delivery. Jarvis taking a bit of pace off it, but not able to get it to the boundary. So just the single, no damage done. You know, tell you what, those can often end up in a bit of disaster as well with a head-on collision. Surely he was aware that the captain was there. He was inside the circle. What on earth was he doing? What on earth was he thinking, Craig Irvin? Anyway, just the single, no real damage done, but it would have given Jarvis another wicket. And that would have been 5 for him in the innings. Maybe he can get that elusive 5 for 2 balls remaining.
They've run through, gets a run up. Oh, comfortable before they get through for the bye. So 1 ball to go. Can UAE finish with a boundary? Can Zimbabwe finish with a wicket?
I have to say that Regis Chikapa maybe should have been a bit more aware on the occasion, knowing full well that at the end, if they're going to miss it, they have talked about running. That's a natural go-to if you have missed it. He should have been closer up and gone for the overarm, the underarm, and I just think that all the options there weren't very good from Regis Chikapa. Righto, last ball. Carl Jarvis just making sure that his third man is in the right area. 4 for 16 thus far. Can he finish with a flourish? Well, he's followed him. This time Regis Chikapa uses the underarm. This time he's away. And this time the result is a run out. He hits the stumps, and the Zimbabweans have finished very strongly here. You'd have to say that they were a bit sloppy in the field this morning. Bowlers didn't really get the ball in the right area after a fantastic start, but they've finished well. These last 6 overs could have been very nasty for them, but all bowlers have been spot on that occasion. Jarvis going short, Chikapa's away, a couple of steps. The underarm hits the stumps, and nowhere near his ground. So they'll end up 9 down, 169 for 9 off their 35 overs. Well, the UAE, a great partnership this morning, but just failed to capitalise on these last 6 overs.
6 wickets in 6 overs. Zimbabwe will be very pleased with that. Carl Jarvis, pick of the bowlers today, and they'll be extremely pleased taking that into the batting. 10 over 10-minute change, so you can expect some fireworks from the Zimbabweans up front. Good finish by Zimbabwe.
Yeah, they've done a good job. They've come back well. They were, as I said, not up to scratch this morning. Maybe rested on their laurels a little bit after a good start, but they would have talked about that, and they've come out really aggressive. They got the ball in the right area. They've managed to use the conditions, good changes of pace, some good skills on display, and they'll be very happy with what they've achieved in this 6 overs, because if the UAE had got cracking and the score had been 180, 190, I think that would have been a very different situation. But you talked about momentum and going into the changing room. The happier side, I think, would be Zimbabwe on this occasion.
Certainly will be Zimbabwe. A bit patchy from both teams. They're good in areas and they're poor in others. So plenty to improve on. Zimbabwe were clinical in the last game. They're going to have to come out and bat well here. There's still some overheads. There's still some clouds. Their fast bowling department can have some threat. They do have some good spin bowlers. We will see it spin a little bit. So they're going to have to bat well.
Yeah, they weren't really tested in the first game, chasing 110 on a very good batting surface. But yeah, it's going to just be a little more of a testing effort. Batting second, they're going to need 170. Well, they're going to have a few batsmen that get in and bat well. As you mentioned, United Arab Emirates have a good bunch of seamers, got some good spinners as well. So they're going to have to be on top of the game, the Zimbabweans, when they come back after the break. Right, so they lost 9 of them. 9 wickets, the UAE. Let's have a look at how they fell. This was early on this morning. Carl Jarvis was really good. That was in the very first over. Terrific catch from Timson Maruma. And that was 1 down early on. And Carl Jarvis in the action. And this one, what an off-cutter that is. Really was excellent delivery. And then another off-cutter, another fend, and another catch. At this stage, at 12 for 3, the UAE was staring down the barrel.
Yeah, highly skilled new ball bowling. Tiripano with the 4th, going hard into the wicket. Gulam, he played a good hand, comfortable by Sean Williams. Again, short option. Caught cover again. Timson Maruma, he's had a good day out in the field.
Yeah, he's pouched a few as Timson Maruma. This was another catch by Sean Williams. Had to make a lot of ground, putting in the dive and making the catch. And Regis Chikapa underarming it into the stumps. That was the last wicket to fall, the 9th one for the UAE. That means that they finished on 169 for 9, 56 for Gulam, 72 for Anwar. And it fell away a bit at the end, going after quick runs, trying to find the boundary. And in the end, after 35 overs in this rain-affected game, they end up on 169 for 9. Look at that partnership. 131 off 151 deliveries. Excellent stuff. Great recovery between Anwar and Gulam. But then in the pursuit of boundaries at the end, not able to form any partnerships, and the Zimbabweans, you'd have to say, came back really well. Excellent from Jarvis, could have had 5 if Craig Irvin hadn't got in the way of one, but ends up with 4 for 16, 1 for 35. Chitara, 3 for 34, came back well. Donald Tirapano, slow start this morning, but it's how you finish that counts, and he did that really, really well. So 169 for 9 is what they end up on. We'll be back in around about 5 minutes time with the run chase from Zimbabwe.
Welcome back to Harare Sports Club. We're just about to get underway in the second innings. The run chase. Zimbabwe will need 210. So if you're not familiar with the Duckworth-Lewis-Stoon method, then pay attention, because I'm glad to say that Tino Mowayo's joining me in commentary. He'll be able to explain exactly how it works. But the layman's version is that the United Arab Emirates were disadvantaged by the fact that the rain came when they still had 7 wickets in hand with 21 overs remaining. And Duckworth Lewis, which is based on historically similar situations in previous one-day internationals, suggests that they might have gone on to make something like 210. Never mind what they did in the final 6 overs, where they weren't able really to capitalise after the half-centuries from Ghulam Shabir and Shaiman Anwar. They lost 5 wickets in quick time upon the resumption when they only had 6 overs. But it means that Zimbabwe will require 210 for victory. Never mind that the UAE made 169 for 9. The target for the UAE is for Zimbabwe is 210. Solomon Mire and Reggie Chakava, the opening batsman. And gut feel, how does that feel to you? Do you think it's fair, Tino?
Well, there's been a long battle backwards and forwards about the Duckworth-Lewis method and whether it's fair or not. But in this instance, you look at where they were with 21 overs to go, 120 odd, 7 wickets in hand. They really were set up for a much bigger total than the scoreboard suggests they ended up getting, but that's because then they tried to get on with the business. So they say it is the fairest method that they've come up with so far in terms of calculations when you lose time in a game due to weather. But at least it gives us an opportunity to finish up the game.
It is the fairest method, absolutely, unequivocally. It is the fairest method yet devised, and yet every single method is going to involve guesswork. So how can it ever be fair when it involves the guessing? And it does. I mean, this involves much more mathematics, science, and history than any other method has previously involved. But it's still guesswork because there is nothing predictable about cricket. It's always a guess, of course, if you do predict something correctly. But you know what? It doesn't feel like a mismatch to me, and sometimes it does. You'll get a number and you'll think that can't be right. And obviously some teams are penalised if they bat all the way down to number 10. The Duckworth-Lewis system will take into account the fact that historically teams don't bat down to number 10. They get down to 9, 10, 11. They're regarded as bowlers. But this doesn't feel too wide of the mark to me. 210 off 35. It should make Zimbabwe favourites. And I think that's right, even though you rightly say that that the UAE were 129 for 3 when the rain came, with 7 wickets in hand, 21 overs to go. But you know, if you'd said at that stage they'd make 210, I'd probably go, yeah, probably.
Quick single. Good running between Regis Chakava and Solomon Mire. Just going back to you saying Zimbabwe are the favourites. I think they are. I think very slightly, Neil. I say that because many people who really spent time at the crease for Zimbabwe in the first game were Craig Irvin and Regis Chakava. But if they can manage to get a couple of early wickets here, the UAE, they can maybe put Zimbabwe under a little bit of pressure.
No!
So a little bit of turn for the luncheon break. Been undercovers on and off, so maybe a little bit of grease on the surface. Some support, ideal conditions for the seamers. So very important that Zimbabwe make sure that they get a good start. Wickets in hand, always important, especially the Duckworth-Lewis. That run rate can jump very quickly as you begin to lose wickets.
That's excellent understanding there. Good response from Solomon Mire from the non-striker's end. 1 over gone, 4 without loss.
That's the end of the first over. Zimbabwe 4 without loss.
No, that's 2. That's middle. Right on over to you.
I think this CP Brisbane. He didn't play in the first game on Wednesday. Kadir Ahmed actually bowled quite tidily on Wednesday in a fairly hopeless cause. One thing I would suggest would be a wise investment for the Zimbabwean batsmen during this run chase is constant access to what the Duckworth-Lewis par score is, because it's not even 50-50 that we'll run out of sufficient natural daylight to finish the game. I think it's probably 70-30, even 80-20 likely that we will run out of daylight, and it'll be too dark to finish the game in normal natural circumstances, because it's very overcast. I think sunset was due to be at 5:40, yeah, and you know, but I think the sun will be gone. I think natural daylight will be gone by 5:20, which means we've got to get 35 overs in 2 hours. And we haven't achieved that sort of rate since the 1930s. So Zimbabwe really do need constant access to what the Duckworth-Lewis par score is. Do you remember when the very, very earliest days of the Duckworth-Lewis, where batsmen used to have the sheet folded up in their pocket?
I remember those days, and I remember an absolute horror, I think, in the World Cup. South Africa playing Sri Lanka, was it? And
that was in the earliest days.
It was, wasn't it?
2003.
Quite often now, they
Upar ball.
have the Duckworth-Lewis total and then the par score at the end of every over. And I think they start to put that up on the board a little bit closer to the target, or when they think that it might start getting a little bit dark, or when the batsmen have asked for it. You're absolutely right, and that's something that you need to keep your eye on, especially as you get closer and closer to that chase.
Quite a swing at that one. Solomon Mire. And looks like there might be a bit of sledging there from Shayman Anwar, who top scored with 72. If you're going to swing that hard, make sure you hit it. I'm just guessing. Something like that.
I heard over the stump mic a bit of "I like it, boys, I like it, boys," a bit of pressure. I'll tell you what, if he did say about if you make sure you hit it, if you go for a hit it, if he does hit it, Solomon Mire, it quite often goes quite a long way, especially over that long on cow corner area.
The UAE have just put an extra man on that side as well. And again, he's inside the circle, so I would suggest that if he does hit it cleanly, he would be redundant inside the circle at mid-wicket. 2 overs gone. Zimbabwe need 210 for victory. They're 5 without loss.
That's the end of the second over. Zimbabwe 5 for none.
bad news, I'm afraid, is that it started to rain again, and the weather forecast was so accurate. It said that it would rain for a couple of hours and then clear between 2:30 and 2:45, which is exactly what happened. What it didn't say, or what it did say, was that there would be no rain thereafter. Unfortunately, there seems to be a little more than a few follow-up drops. It's raining quite heavily at the moment. The umpires will give it 10 minutes to see if it blows over. Be a wide. It's his debut today. I know Chubby. His one-day international debut. Oh my word, we were talking about how far Solomon Mary hits it, and that's gone into the rugby field next door.
That's exactly why I was saying he doesn't want him to hit it, Manners. He's happier with him not hitting it. He's very, very strong in this area. Solomon Mary, this time a little bit shorter in length, and he's got absolutely all of that. And it's sailed a good 15, 20 meters over the cow corner boundary. The first 6 of the Zimbabwean innings.
It actually would have gone onto the rugby field, but one of the ground staff fielded it just before it did. It's exactly where it was heading, though. The trouble with this rain is that it's so hard to know if or when it will stop, because it's not like a passing shower. You can't see blue sky behind anywhere. There's almost no wind at all, so it just lingers and it's not blowing away. The umpires will give it, as they did in the first innings, they'll give it as long as they can until they feel that conditions are beginning to materially change. Tell you what's interesting, that piece of fielding from Imran Haider at cover could technically have been penalised. This could have conceded 5 runs, because unless you interpret this as fake fielding, a new playing condition, new law actually. You can't try to bluff the batsman by pretending you've got the ball in his hand. I think it would have been really harsh in that case.
I think the case there was he thought he was going to gather the ball straight away and then try and throw down the stumps at the non-strikers.
But the fact that he got into the throwing position without the ball could, strictly speaking, be interpreted as called fake fielding law.
If that happened to me, then I'll be in trouble for having a few words with the umpire straight after that, I think, Neil.
Just as long as nobody from the change room stages their own on-field protest, as MS Dhoni did in the IPL last night. 3 overs gone, Zimbabwe 15 without loss.
3 overs, 15 without loss.
Oh, it's a fine delivery. It's gone between bat and pad. Nipped that one back. Maybe he just went wide of the crease, but it's gone past the inside edge.
I wonder if he's done this on purpose. Haven't seen a lot of him. Saw him in the first one-day international, and he's very happy taking the ball away from right-hander. It's a wonderful delivery. You can see Regis Jakaba lining up to try and cover that away swing, going towards the off stump. Just getting that to nip off the seam. It does this play on the batsman's mind. Changing, and you've talked about him taking the ball away from the right-hander, and suddenly from nowhere he produces a delivery like that. Maybe it's the surface that's got a bit of grease, a bit more assistance for the seamers. Back of your head as a batsman, you're now thinking, oh, so he's got the one that goes away, and he uses the crease, angles one in that goes away, and now he's got one that comes back into me. Lots to deal with.
Wait now.
Kadir Ahmed is one of those players who might possibly have been under pressure for his place in this squad had it not been for the fact that the UAE under-19 team are also in camp at the moment, and there are half a dozen of the under-19 squad who, if not regulars in the senior squad, have certainly played and would have been pushing for places on this tour. But Dougie Brown, the senior team coach, decided that all of those who are under 19 should be part of the under 19 squad. So there's some senior figures around here who might not have made it on this trip. Kadir Ahmed at 33 is actually not one of the older players. But yeah, a good tour certainly won't do him any harm. Oh, there's trouble here. Oh, Mirai's oh goodness, he's escaped. I actually don't know whether Regis Jakaba would have made it to the non-striker's end had he accepted Mirai's call for the single.
See what happened is he just ball watched a little bit. Regis Jakaba, but I agree with you. I don't think he would have got there. But the throw is something that leaves a lot to be desired. He could have thrown down the stumps there. 4 overs gone, 16 for no loss.
Four overs, Zimbabwe 16 for none.
Just a reminder that Zimbabwe's total victories 210, that's their target. Douglas Lewis Stone has compensated the UAE for the rain break that robbed 15 overs from their innings. It's probably a fair reflection, given the scoring rate that the UAE were going at, the fact that they had 7 wickets in hand when the rain came, the fact that they only had 6 overs, power hitting overs at the end of their innings rather than the 8 or 10 that they might have decided to try and accelerate in if they had wickets in hand. So 210 is the target. Mohammad Naveed, the captain, all-rounder, came in at number 6 today. Smote a mighty 6 and now has the new ball in hand.
Come here, Reggie, come here.
He's got a lot of runs in that area, Regis Jakaba, even in the first innings. realize that they've spread the field pretty quickly. Man who's catching at cover. In fact, he's gone back almost into the cover ring. Backward point. Cover on the ring, mid-off. Then the man at fine legs come up to the circle and the deep square legs gone back. Mid-wicket, mid-on. I just feel that they need to try and get wickets. I think a slip in there or a gully might give them an opportunity. At the moment, I know they're trying to block the outfield, make sure Zimbabwe don't get boundaries. So far, they've only had 1 6 in the innings. They've had no 4s. You know, open up that cover area. Say to him, listen, if you want to go through there, it's a little bit on the surface. You might get a nick. You might get an early wicket. That's what they want. At the moment, just seems a little too defensive, too early for me.
Smiling in your picture, just if you wanted to move him around the field, it would take a while.
And after 5 overs, Zimbabwe 17 1 overs.
Again, making use of that vacant gully area. Regis Chakaba. And with that single, there'll be a change in the commentary box. It's going to be Dirk Ewan, and with him, Patient Charumbira.
Thank you, Tino. So they got a bit of a mountain to climb, Zimbabwe. Rain is back. Well, I'm not so sure if we call it rain. Oh, big swing, and Solomon Miri, I can tell you, when he swings at a delivery, he swings hard. No one was going to catch that. Bowler very disappointed, but nowhere near an opportunity. And Solomon Miri has thrown everything at that.
That's his natural game, isn't it? It's gone hard at that. This thick outside edge, and it's flown over the managed slip. No chance whatsoever there. Strong character, this man in your picture, Solomon Mire. Can't hit a long ball. Very muscular, strong.
Oh, he's hit 1-6, but ended up in the trees. So, talking about how strong he is. Oh, it goes again. Probably not the bounce that he wanted from that one.
Just have a feeling he's trying to hit the ball too hot at the moment. As opposed to just waiting on it and just timing it.
I think that he carries this sort of thing that everyone thinks because he's so strong he's got to hit the ball hard. The 6 that he hit earlier, which was huge, he didn't hit that too hard. That one there, like you said, trying to hit it too hard. And I think when you see him just play his natural game, doesn't try to hit the ball, that you can see the way that he times it. He's a really quality player.
When he hits them, they stay hit. Solomon Mire. It's going to be important that he comes off for Zimbabwe here. Get them off to a flying start. Target now revised, chasing 210 in 35 overs. So we got a game on, yeah?
It's a good single. And one area that sometimes teams, when they, we're not saying it's a big score, it probably is a fairly decent score on this kind of surface, and here at Orari Sports Club the outfield's had a little bit of rain, so maybe it's worth another 20-30 on here, is you tend to forget to run the singles. You want to muscle it to the boundary because we need quick runs, and you tend to forget the value of rotating the strike. Puts the bowler off, it causes the changes in the field, puts the pressure on the bowler, and need to maintain those singles. No single on that occasional. In the 6th over, it's good from UAE so far. Zimbabwe 23 without loss. There's the revised conditions. 5 bowlers can bowl a maximum of 7 overs. Remember, at a normal one-day international, it's 5 bowlers can bowl 10 overs. Your changed power play 1 will be just 7 overs, power play 2, 21 over, and power play 3, 7 overs. So those are the splits of what will be for the rest of the game. Zahoor Khan, 13 matches, 25 wickets. That's a good return. He's got a really good average, 20.24. Economy rate not bad, and he'll dearly love to get close to his best figures of 6 for 34. I got a funny feeling this UAE team, different looking side. I think they fancy a huge opportunity here. There's a pull shot again. There's a man out there, and it's taken. Solomon Miri has held out. And it's a big wicket for the UAE. We spoke about his ability to take wickets, Khan. Guess what? He's replaced Naveed, run in first ball, banged it into Solomon Miri, and he's picked him up.
Massive wicket this for the UAE. He's a big wicket, isn't he, Solomon Miri? There was a man on the hook specifically for that shot, and he bangs one in short the first time. We've seen Zahoor Khan in this ODI series. Look at that. Short, and Solomon Miri going for the big pull shot. And there's a man back there specifically for that shot. So the plan's worked, and no mistake whatsoever from the man in the deep. That's Mustafa is the man taking the catch, and what a catch that is. And that's the demise of Solomon Miri. He's got to go for 17 in Zimbabwe. 23 for 1.
So Craig Irvin comes to the wicket to replace Solomon Miri. 86 matches, 82 innings. He's in some real form at the moment. 31.37 his average. He went through a bit of a lapse. That strike rate probably not the greatest. 13 50s and 200s. He played a big part in ensuring that Zimbabwe got home the other day. He top scored with 53, and it should have been a not out. He got out probably just 10 to win. And, he's played domestic cricket this season. He's got a couple of hundreds. He got 100 in the 2020 tournament. He got a couple of 80s and 90s as well, I think. And he's had a stellar domestic season. And you saw glimpses of that in the first one-day international. Probably not the greatest wicket. He's probably not, and I say this nicely, probably not the prettiest player, but he accumulates. He paced his innings very well in the first one-day international.
Suits down off the pitch straight away, so he's looking in good nick. As Craig Irvine. He's been scoring a lot of runs in the domestic circuit. Got a 50, got a half century in that first ODI here at Harare Sports Club in 2 days ago. And he's come in early here because this man in your picture, Zahoor, has managed to get the breakthrough for the UAE. And here he is now from the Gulf Coast end.
That's good areas, but Irvin showing that he wants to be positive, and that's good. I suppose you got to question Solomon Miri. You know, do you sort of have a go at him for hitting that ball in the air, and instead of a perfect opportunity, just smash it in front of square on the ground for 4? Do you try and change the way that he plays? My argument is no. He must keep playing the way that he plays. Yes, he'll be upset that he got out the way he did, just hitting it down the throat to the square leg fielder. That's well played from Irvin. Get off the mark. It should be a 2, just a little punch into the covers.
That's good timing, that. Doesn't try and overhit that. The first couple of balls, you feel he wanted to push it too hard. But on that occasion, he waited on it nicely, let it come onto the bat, and just stood on it and just punches it through and gets himself a couple there. And he's off the mark and underway. Here's a part of the crowd enjoying the proceedings here at Harare Sports Club. Under the shade, has been a bit of rain, up and down, stop and start, but now it looks like we're back in business, and they're enjoying every minute of it.
Well, you might say there was a chance, but he's absolutely smashed that through the covers. Shots that we haven't seen on the up. Craig Irvin hits his first boundary through the covers at 7 gone, 30-1.
7 overs, 30-1.
So the umpire calls power play change. Reminder, 21 overs of this power play before we go back to the final bowling power play. I hope he doesn't kick that, Patient.
He's got skills, and that's what they're here for. Those guys, very good at this. Just covering some of those marks there with the sawdust.
Well, is that sawdust or is it sand?
It does look like sawdust. It is.
I did fail woodworking at school. So we're all set again. Chikamba on strike. Kadir has bowled well. 3 overs for 8. And he's been solid.
Oh, bit of a mix-up there. Direct hit would have been pretty close, pretty tight indeed.
I think Irvin might have given up. I think he was gone for all money. I don't think he got back. So cameraman PD showing us fantastic angles. Not even close, not even in the frame.
Yeah, he was gone by a country mile there. Given up. The ball's not quite coming onto the bat. We've had quite a bit of rain. The umpires have been lenient. They've allowed play to continue. And the pitch has been dampened a little bit by the rain, and you feel the ball's not quite coming onto the bat. Jakava is just struggling a little bit there to find the middle and just get going.
10 from 23, which is okay, because he had a critical issue for Zimbabwe. I'd like to think, I failed woodwork and weather at school, I'd like to think the rain's not going to come back, so maybe wickets won't come into play. Zimbabwe need them at the end. Maybe with Reggie Chikamba just playing a supportive role on the other side, the fact that he's 10 of 23 is not a huge issue. But he needs to rotate the strike. Like you said, if the ball's not quite coming on how much of a challenge that would be. Irvin, 7 of 5. that's what's left for Zimbabwe. Sean Williams likes to rotate the strike. He's good against the spinners as well, so you'd expect him the ability to go run a ball. The other challenge that Zimbabwe's got, Maruma, Moore and Sekinder Raza, wondering why he's so low. Anyway, they haven't had a hit yet.
Again, an indication that the ball's stopping in the surface. We saw the previous one, Irvine dug in short and he just had to fend it in the last moment. So he waited and waited for a long time, sort of stopping in the surface. And again, this time uppish and dangerous from Chikava. So it's going to have to be a real gutsy partnership by these two to try and just get Zimbabwe on a roll, just to floor the game through it. This time in control, right on top of the bounce, rolls his wrist on top of that. We'll get another single.
So 4th the over, 1 to go. And that's not bad from Zimbabwe. Yes, you might argue that the rate now required 6.48 to win it from here. So there's a bit of a gap between their 4.34 that they're currently at. But rotating the strike and enforcing, it's a left-right-hand combination. It will put the bowler off, it will put the fielders off, it will make Mohamed Naveed think a little bit. Well, he gets away with that one. It ends the 8th over, 4 from it, Zimbabwe 34 for 1.
Overs, Zimbabwe 34 for 1.
The worm shows a distinct difference. However, that worm will not count because after 35 overs, Duckworth Lewis has moved their score from 169 to 210. So that doesn't count. Zimbabwe have got a lot of work to do. So it looks good at the moment. Let me tell you, they've got a considerable mountain to climb here at Zimbabwe. So as much as where they currently find themselves, the worm looks good. They'll realise that the Duckworth Lewis has sort of put them behind the 8 ball a little bit, because 210 is a totally different ball game, excuse the pun, in 35 overs.
Required red currently at 6.56 with the over. Zimbabwe only going at 4.16 at the moment. It's going to be a big mountain to climb. Wild swing at it there from Craig Irvine. Feel he wants to get back onto ball. It's been positive. We saw in the innings in the first ODI. He was very positive. He's playing his short today also on an indifferent pitch, not the same pitch we saw in the first ODI. This one a little bit different. You've got to work hard. You've got to let the ball come onto the bat. You've got to work the singles, try and play yourself in, get used to the conditions, and then push it from there.
That's better from Irvin. I think that was maybe the problem in that first delivery. Trying to hit it too straight. Should try to hit it a lot squarer. I actually think that Zimbabwe want a little bit of rain on this wicket. In fact, drizzle can just continue for a little bit longer. It will wet that surface and make it a little bit greasy. And if it does, the ball will come on a little bit better. At the moment, it's maybe holding up a bit. Having said that, to me, like Reggie Chikava's the only one struggling with the ball coming on. Affected Craig Irvin. I've got a funny feeling that he's preempting that single. Yes, he's trying to look for them, but he's trying to look for them square. He's closing the face.
The reason being there's deep square. Watch with the signal from the umpire there, and rightly so. The reason being, these men at deep square leg, so there's no square leg. So in his mind, he's thinking, I'm getting one there, and he tends to go across the line to balls should be playing straight down the ground, I reckon.
Well, I like this idea from Reggie Chikapa. There's I guess no real intention, because he pulled out. If if he had intention, he probably would have swung at it. But what it's going to do, it's going to make that bowler think twice, keep him on his toes. It's well played by Reggie Chikapa. He's played that intentionally, maybe not as fine as he would have liked it. He picks up 2, so 4 off the over. Still two balls to go.
I like that from Reggie Chikapa. He sauced the wicket, he sauced the conditions up. He's seen that the ball is not quite coming onto the bat for him. And the best way at this moment is to wait for it and let it come onto your bat and just play it late. There he just opens the first, deflects it down to the third-man region. And that's how you want to play on this wicket, as late as possible.
Well, he's played straight. It's in the air, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't slog at it. He didn't try and overhit it. He got enough on it to get it over the infield at one stage. I think UAE thought that they were in the pound seats. 2 more to Reggie Chikapa.
Yeah, not convincing at all. That was uppish and pretty dangerous indeed. He's played that a little bit too early. He's got to wait on it a little bit more. On this kind of surface, on this particular kind of surface, the ball isn't quite coming onto the bat. You've got to play it late. Get on top of the bounce and just let it come. Don't try and hit it too hard, just the timing.
Angled in. Finishes well, does Khan. It's 9 gone, 40 for 1.
चिकू पीछे चला जाए, छोड़ दे, अंदर कोई नहीं चाहिए, अंदर माने इधर आ जा। उधर ही नहीं, ठीक है ना, स्पेल खत्म करना है। राइटम आराम, लंबी ओवर कराई।
So 40 for 1. This is what happened a little bit earlier. It involved a big stop, but thank you to Ghulam and Anwar. Anwar was probably the better player out of those 2. Ghulam came good at the end. So the 2 of them have really set UAE up for an opportunity here. It brings a first look at the spinners, Rowan, Mustafa, and Irvin just playing around that one. Here's a point of interest, 9 overs, 1 wicket down. Zimbabwe needed to be 41 without loss, or 41 for 1 rather, and they were 40 for 1. So as it stands, they are okay. But, if they'd lost another wicket, they would have to have 52. Starts making a big difference, so wickets in hand are key. That's well swept. There's no fielder back there. Craig Irvin on one knee and helps himself to a boundary. 2 straight from Mustafa.
He's very strong in that area, Craig Irvin. He's going on one knee there, making sure he makes the contact, the necessary contact. Good improvisation this, using the sweep shot to good effect. All he has to do is that beat the man at 45 and that will run away for another boundary. So much needed boundary, welcome boundary for the Zimbabweans at this stage of the innings.
Well, he obviously runs the danger of not wanting to get too wide on the offside, so there'll be 1. He bowled him. And maybe say it didn't bounce much, but it looked like a quicker delivery, and Mustafa's got his man. It's another big wicket. Irvin has been the in-man for Zimbabwe, and he's just played a fantastic sweep shot. This one probably in between length. Looks like it did skid a bit. He's gone back to it. He's made out like it's kept a little bit low, and over goes the castle. Big wicket for UAE. Irvin's gone for 13, Zimbabwe 44 for 2. So, big wicket. We said Murray's wicket was big. He's Sean Williams. He's at the crease, 124 matches. And the reason why he's there is because Craig Irvin has had his timber disrupted. And it's not pretty either, because it's an absolute mess.
Yeah, it's the one that goes with the arm, isn't it? The quicker one. It's just pushed that through with the arm, and Evan is expecting that to turn, and just undone by the lack of bounce on that occasion. Very unlucky that Craig Evan just going underneath his bat, and massive wicket for Zimbabwe. That the man in form, Craig Evan, big cog in the Zimbabwe batting lineup. Then come at the men, come at the hour. Sean Williams. Immediately presenting the full face of the blade. Very experienced campaigner. Sean Williams, been around for a long, long time. Class player. And he and Chakava is going to take it from here and try and get a partnership going to dig Zimbabwe out of this.
Well, I'm trying to work out if Craig Irvin could have maybe played that a little bit differently. I'm not sure. I think maybe he was just beaten for a little bit of pace off the wicket. But it's a good one. Mustafa's picked up a wicket in his first over. It's only gone for 5. 10 gone. Zimbabwe 45 for 2.
जल्दी करो यार जल्दी करो पीछे कितने जाना है
After 10 overs, Zimbabwe 45 for 2.
That middle stump please Tavi. Thank you. Mid off कौन है mid off है
All right, here's a look at the scorecard at the moment. Zimbabwe 45 for 2. Lost Solomon Mire and Craig Evan. 2 big wickets, massive wickets for Zimbabwe. Now, Rezi Chakaba and Sean Williams to try and rebuild the innings for Zimbabwe.
That's not good from Williams. Yeah, he's just flashed at that down the pitch. Can he afford to lose any more wickets at this stage, Zimbabwe? He's just stood still. I suppose different if he had smashed it through covers.
You can see there was with an offer, just a little bit of a rush of blood there. He just felt that he wanted to get back onto ball early. Just has to compose himself a little bit. A lot better on this occasion. Going a lot straighter.
Stopped on his shot. Did you notice that? Maybe again going back to that thought that the wicket is a little bit slow. I can tell you 6.69 now the run rate required. Could very quickly been up to 7. At the end of 10 overs, because they'd lost another wicket, Zimbabwe needed to be 52. So jumped 11 runs.
He's got to get off strike, isn't it? He's going to look to get off strike at the moment. It's just looks like he's just trying to overhit the ball. He's trying to hit it too hard. And there you go. Chakaba just walking down, and they're just having a little bit of conversation, maybe just telling him, you know what, it's not a sprint, let's just take it easy, one ball at a time, let's work together, let's just wait for it and just look to get off strike, deflect the ball, use the crease, angle the bat, just get it in the gap and try and get off strike.
It's better from Williams. Just get a single though.
No! No!
He wanted two.
Hey, you see all the backup
Just
got
also
it.
heard
मेरे को
when they
ले
came and spoke to each other, Williams saying it's just holding up a little bit. So admitting that the wicket's a little bit slow. They're going to have to find a way though. Khan, he's living up to his reputation. He's been really good. Here's Williams turning. He wants the second. Reggie Chakaba sent him back.
Yeah, big loud call from Chakaba there. Williams only been here for 6 deliveries, so just Just needs to give himself a little bit of a chance. We've already lost 2 wickets, Zimbabwe, that is. Optimistic appeal. That one just coming back off the angle. Height could have been the factor, probably came off the bat as well. Chakava just stuck on his crease in that last delivery.
Yeah, I think too much angle on this one. Oh, he's deep in the crease. Yeah, it's high. You do well. Reggie Chakava is not the tallest cricketer in world cricket, but I still think a very good chance someone's going over the top. So the umpire not really interested. It's close to a wide. He's going to let him off. It's a good over from Khan. Just the one off it. 11 gone. Zimbabwe 46 for 2. So, safe to say, UAE have a bit of a grip on this game. 46 for 2 Zimbabwe at this stage. Par, Duckworth-Lewis par is 58. So Zimbabwe find themselves 13 runs behind Duckworth-Lewis to win it, that is. Williams and Chikabra at the crease. Both of them not looking too comfortable in rotating the strike.
It's good that from Williams. Playing it calm, just working around the corner. Easy picking for a single. That's all Chakava has to do is just look to rotate the strike. Look to get off strike, get a partnership going. Get those ones and try and turn the ones into twos. The sun has come out here at Harare Sports Club. All of a sudden, it's a beautiful day for cricket, magnificent weather. So the man on the super boundary on the offside is up for Chakava, and they've pushed the man back to deep square leg.
Oi, well bowled, excellent bowling.
Very good length. Mustafa.
On ball again, it looked like, and Reggie Chikabra might have picked that one. He's just helped it round the corner, and the 45, absolutely no chance. It's well played. 50 up for Zimbabwe, 51 for 2, and Mustafa probably trying to bowl the same ball he bowled to Irvin. This one too straight, easy as you like for Reggie Chikabra. Maybe the one area that Craig Irvin, I was asking how he could have maybe played it better. There was an example from Reggie Chikabra waiting on the ball and hit it down the ground. Maybe Craig Irvin guilty of trying to hit it too square. As much as if you probably bowled another 10 of those, you get 9 of them through mid-wicket. Maybe just didn't pick the pace. That's better from Williams. Just need an over like this. You start the over, yes it was the third delivery, but you get a boundary in the first half of the over, gives you an opportunity. So 7 off this over already, still a ball to go. The outside chance, a bad ball and they hit another boundary. Back in a reasonable position.
I'll be 100%. So dot ball to finish the over. 53 for 2.
After 12 overs, Zimbabwe 53 for 2.
Zimbabwe 53 for 2. That's a good length that from Zahul Khan. He's pumped up, fired up. We didn't see him in the first ODI, he didn't play. But today he came in, first ball, dug one shot and got the wicket of Solomon Mire. And he's had lots of energy. Looks pumped up today. He's very much up for it. Got his opportunity in the second ODI, and what a good start this sees for him to the series. This time too straight and whipped off the legs. Not the sort of line to bowl to Sean Williams. A little too straight, straying onto his pad. Zahul Khan on that occasion, and Williams just helping it on its way around the corner. And what a stroke. Fabulous shot that is. Superb timing. And that's gone one bounce into the fans. So Williams is underway. Looking positive. Up to Williams and Chakava today to try and get Zimbabwe closer to this target. I'm going to make way. To continue for the next 30 minutes will be Neil Mantop, and with him, Brendan Taylor.
Thank you very much indeed.
Shabba boys, Shabba boys!
We're a bit sloppy from the UAE. Don't need to be giving runs away at this stage. It's going to be quite a challenge to defend this target anyway, you would have thought. It's just a modest effort, I'm afraid. Must do better. Captain as well, Mohammed Naveed. Hopefully he'll have a stern word with himself.
Easy for Regis Shikava. Very comfortable when it's a little bit straight to him. He does pick it off quite well. Zahul Khan, he's been probably the pick of the bowlers. Important wicket of Solomon Mire. Can be very destructive. And I've seen him play a little bit before. I was involved with him in a T10 tournament in Dubai, and he's got some skill. He's a good death bowler. He's got some good change-ups. And they'll be looking for him to make a big impact this afternoon. The sun's out, so should be good for batting.
Just beginning to come into his own now at the moment, Sean Williams, after a slightly scratchy start. He's beginning to strike it well. He's found the middle of the bat. T10. Is it just like half the quantity and twice the speed of T20?
It is. We played in Sharjah, so it's like a pinball ground. It's people whack it to all guys were getting 170 runs in 10 overs, and there were some of the better bowlers in the world as well. It was carnage, but a lot of fun.
Has it got a future? There'll be more of it.
It's the second year into it now, and it is definitely gaining some momentum. Some people aren't a fan of it. The bowlers certainly aren't.
13 overs gone. Zimbabwe need 210 and they're 61 for 2.
That's the end of the 13th over. Zimbabwe now 61 for 2.
Shabba, Josh, bada sare.
Carl Jarvis 4 for 16 in 7 overs. Restricted the visitors to 12 for 3 inside the first actually finished it at 21 for 3 the first 10 overs, but then rain interrupted. Mustafa continues with his off breaks. There were some bowlers who clearly didn't take to T10. I recall Tom Curran twice went for over 40 in his 2 overs. So he came back a little bruised and battered. He said it didn't matter how many people came up to him and tapped him on the back and said, "Don't worry, Tom, it's T10."
Lefty.
He obviously didn't feel very good.
It wasn't fair at times. It was absolutely ridiculous. Some of the hitting that was going on, that was on display, was second to none. It was great to watch, great to be a part of it.
One innings in particular, and I can't remember the numbers exactly, but somebody was scoring at over 4 a ball. Made something like 84 off 16 balls.
Righty boys.
One team chased 96 in 4 overs, and Mohammad Shahzad from Afghanistan, I think, got 76 and 16 deliveries, batting with Shane Watson. Shane got a run a ball.
How long's a game take? Is it 90 minutes?
Yeah, 90 minutes. So you'd have the 2 games at night under lights, and that was it. So not very taxing. But you either want to be in the batting in the top 3, or you don't want to bat at all. You just feel like it's a lose-lose situation. Every ball's got to go for 6. So there's a lot of pressure, but it's certainly backed by some powerful people in Dubai. So I feel it's got a big future.
Milaga! Well done.
Anywhere it definitely has a future. It's in social cricket. 14 overs gone, 64 for 2.
Racial abusive comments and actions will not be tolerated and will result in ejection from the ground, the imposition of other sanctions and possible criminal prosecution. We also like to remind spectators that recording of sound, images or footage is not permitted other than for personal use. Live streaming is not permitted.
Reggie, change your bowler. Right move.
A reminder once again that the target for Zimbabwe is 210, but in 35 overs, not 50, because of the rain interruption that we had in the first innings, and it'll be a real surprise if we have enough daylight to come close to finishing the game, actually, although it's brighter now than it has been any other time in the day. But it'll be really tight, so it's vital that Zimbabwe stay ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis score, and that they know what it is.
In simple terms now, it's just over 20 overs left, so people are accustomed to 20 overs. They know how to pace the innings. It's only 7 runs an over, so the key now would be partnerships. One big partnership here would really put Zimbabwe in command, so that needs to be the chat out there. Just tick along. The singles are very important. The boundaries will come.
Okay.
It's become a really strong feature of 50 over cricket as well, isn't it? I mean, if a team is chasing a large score, the talk before the innings will be, look, this is how we pace it to 30 because that will leave us this in 20, and we know how to get that. So there's an awful lot of that now. I remember running a couple of ultra marathons, and people would say to me, look, just you know how to run a marathon, so just get to 42 kilometers to go. That was a bit fortunate for Reggie Chikapa. I was about to say in the last over, it's so important that he bats through now, isn't it? And he's well set, 24 off 40.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't chase a big total in the last game, but he was the glue. He did bat through, faced a lot of balls, held the innings together. Today's a bit trickier. There's a bigger total. There he just lost his shape a little bit. He's in the slot, mid-on, mid-off. There are up in the ring, so one happy with that, but he just needs to hold his shape a little bit longer and trust his bat swing.
I heard there were some really late nights in the T10 because you had to take advantage of the cooler evenings. So if you were playing the second T10 game of the evening in the T10 league, weren't you finishing well after midnight?
Yeah, we'd get some nights get back 1:30 in the morning, so it didn't leave much time in the bar though.
But then breakfast wasn't until 12 o'clock the next day. A bit like the IPL, really. Right idea from Reggie Jakubba. Trying to play that little ramp shot. You know you're still the best in the world at playing the ramp shot. Statistically, you score more runs and make contact more often. Score more boundaries. That's a measurement in 50 over cricket in the last, what was it now? 7 or 8 years. Actually measured. I mean, I don't know if they could got a record of every single time every batsman in the world plays it. 15 overs gone. Zimbabwe needing 144 more to win. 66 for 2.
And after 15 overs, Zimbabwe 66 for 2.
Bas! Imran! Ronnie, aiming check कर लें बस.
Ryan Mustafa to continue. 3 overs, 1 for 15. He's doing a good job from the city end. Oh, it's not where he wanted it to go, but he'll get 4. Sean Williams is a renowned sweeper and reverse sweeper. And every time he takes out the reverse sweep, whoever's on commentary normally says, well, that's the hockey player in him.
He was a fantastic hockey player, so he's got those hands, the wrists, certainly. Yeah, got away with it there. He'll take some catching that, but yeah, he very seldomly misses out on the reverse sweep or conventional sweep, so one of the best to do it for sure, I believe.
सामने Ronnie, Shabba boy. Get it!
Man out there in the deep and long on. He's made an
Yeah!
excellent job of it. Terrific work. I thought he'd overrun it. He wants a bit of support. It's not going to get much support behind there. I'm afraid that's a fairly small travelling support group for the UAE. But Williams has gone and he's caught by Suri on the long on boundary. Chirag Suri just looked like he'd overrun it, but he compensated, started to backpedal, and in the end he was in the absolutely perfect position, the catch it or wear it position, the hands in front of the face, and Williams has to go for 17. Now it's a bit of a struggle for Zimbabwe. It's 70 for 3.
Zimbabwe Cricket would like to thank its broadcast partner, Sand Productions, and its commercial partners, Surya Pumps, PPC Zimbabwe, Castles, Swift, Utande, Coca-Cola, Blue Line, Swift, Formay, and Fawcett Security for their support and contributions towards cricket. Tatenda Siabong.
Skandar Azra is the new batsman coming in at number 5. Now on the original score sheet that we were given, he was advertised to come in at number 7, which we did feel was a wee bit low, and if he does score at his usual rate of strike rate of 81, then he'll get Zimbabwe back on track here. Not that there's desperate situation that they're in, but probably just a few runs behind where they would prefer to be. Sean Williams just got a little bit toey, didn't he?
A little bit toey. There was no cow corner, so I can understand where he's trying to hit it. He's just got the top half of the bat. Maybe try to hit a little bit too hard. But no cow corner, shot was on. It's just poor execution, and I know he's a better player than that. So, yeah, very disappointed for Sean. Now it's up to Razo, who's a very, very good, experienced player. So he's got a point to prove. He's hungry to play, and he'll be very, very key today.
Not been a day on which either side has covered themselves in glory in the field. I don't know if it's got anything to do with the rain. It might well have. I mean, it could be quite a little bit greasy, quite slippery out there. You see both sides slipping and sliding a little bit. But I think there's also something to do with players taking their eyes off the ball. But having said that, we've had a couple of good catches in the lead. We've had 2 hours lost in the middle of the afternoon, where there was persistent drizzle. We played through it for a long time, 40 minutes in the first innings, 25 more minutes in which the ball was getting wet, the pitch was getting wet, the whole square was getting wet. The square itself, never mind this pitch, but the pitches that to be used in games 3 and 4. Quite damp.
Fielding sides these days take a lot of pride in their commitment in the field, and I think both teams can agree they have been a little bit sloppy. Every run counts nowadays. These little teasing totals, it's very crucial. Every run is saved in the field, so could be telling in the end.
Target 210 in 35 overs, and Zimbabwe is 70 for 3 in 60. Secunda Raza yet to face ball. Reggie Chikava is anchoring this run chase. And although his strike rate is just 52, it is so important that he stays there now, that he just bats through. He has actually slowed down. I mean, at one point he was striking at about 70, and it was down to 60 4 overs ago, and he struggled for runs in the last 4 overs. No ball. No ball. Well, he's on his one-day international debut, I know Chubby, and that bowler doesn't seem very happy about it.
Well, you mentioned Regis Chikava's strike rate's around the 50% mark, so this could be the opportunity to really kickstart his innings. If he bats another 15 overs, he'll be up around the runner ball. Yep. Probably the line belongs to the umpire, so maybe a fair shot there.
Yeah, Captain Mohammed Naveed not happy, but stay behind the line, Naveed. Simple game. Yeah, I think he got that one quite right. Here, free hit. Where's he going? Very well bowled. I think he just gave himself a bit of room, didn't he? Half a step outside leg stump, looking to hit it through the offside, and Naveed has followed him very well. Tucked him up, just a single.
He had nullified going over the offside field. He's a skilled bowler. He's renowned at death ball bowler. He's got a bit of pace up front. And he's taking the initiative. He's putting his hand up, looking to get another breakthrough as a captain should. And he's leading by example. Obviously overstepping, he'll be disappointed in that, but he came back strong.
There are lots and lots of stories about dedication and determination of sportsmen to make it to the top, to play at international level. And Mohammed Naveed, at the beginning of his career, was living in Ras Al Khaimah, was making a 6-hour round trip to go and train with the national squad in Dubai. 3 hours there, 3 hours back. And there'd be a 4 or 5 hour training session. So that's a long day. At least the petrol's cheap in the UAE.
Struck away, registered cover, just the one. Got him very quickly, released it quickly as well, well fielded. Yeah, I mean, credit to him. That's a good story, isn't it? I mean, a lot of players have the luxury of being 5-10 minutes from the ground, or have reliable transport systems to get to the ground. Yeah, so I mean, no, there's no surprise there that he's committed, and he's now at the highest level representing the UAE. So yeah, good on him, fantastic.
I mean, there's a 3-hour drive, and there's a 3-hour drive depending where you are in the world. And at least Ras Al Khaimah to Dubai is like a 6-lane freeway. Not too much bumper-to-bumper traffic, but nonetheless, it is still a long day, very long day. So, good crowd in BT. How many of those did you pay for?
4 of us bought 50 tickets each, so 200 tickets. Shot, just the one out to the sweeper boundary. The crowd have stuck around. There's been some teasing weather that's stuck around all day, and they've been nice and patient, and hopefully Zimbabwe can reward them for another good win. But they are passionate, they do love it, and they do get behind the players.
It's actually filled up throughout the day, despite that 2-hour break that we had where we lost 30 overs out of the game. There's still more and more people coming in. Played.
You can, Reggie, you can! You can, Reggie! Yes!
Straight out of the Brendan Taylor book of ramp shots, that one.
Well done.
Executed a lot better than I did. 78 for 3, 17 overs gone.
17 overs, Zimbabwe 78 for 3.
That's 2. Bowling change, right arm over. चट्टी बॉलर दी होने कोई जरूरत नहीं है हाफ कर जा मैं तो अंदर कर
Imran Haider comes into the attack, the 31-year-old. Leg breaks, Imran Haider. So that's why he was so busy trying to dry the ball.
He's highly rated. He had a very good World Cup qualifier campaign just over 12 months ago. And they do speak highly of him. He's got great control. Leg spinner. They can travel, but they can get wicked. So, to me, this is crunch time for both sides. It boils down to one of these two batters batting through. Leg spinner striking early and making it very difficult.
Well ball, Mane, excellent bowling.
Last question about T10. I'm fascinated by it. I never got to see any of it. So you've been through a full tournament. Did Imran Haider play in the T10? Is there a place for leg spinners in T10 cricket?
Ah, yeah,
Certainly
Roni Shaba, thank you,
for them.
Roni.
I think I know every T20 team has a leg spin bowler in their side, and just the wrist spin is so key. Just Sharjah is a very difficult place to bowl. It's like a glass, very smooth surface, so they don't really get much pressure. So
Zaur Khan nu bas check kar la, teri marzi hone ho Zaur Khan nu.
But he did play, and I don't know how well he did, but he's got some good control.
The bowler of the tournament was Hardest Viljoen, the big South African. Did he bowl 12 Yorkers?
No, he didn't. He actually bowled like cross-seam balls and bowled like heavy balls into the wicket, up around the shoulder. He sort of rushed a lot of batsmen. It's quite a greasy surface, so yeah, surprisingly, either he hit him for 6, or he just spliced you and everyone was caught. So it was weird.
He won't necessarily want that on his highlights package if he does go on to make 50. That wasn't.
boys.
He's caught in about 3 mines there.
He's normally a good player of spin, Reggie. I haven't seen a sweep shot yet. Maybe it's not necessary, but there is gaps on the leg side. He's a very, very capable player of spin. Missed out, unfortunately. Just needs to be patient. Take it deep. Can't win the game now. Ball at a time. Play on instinct. Play strong shots. The instinct will take over. So pressure can't mount on him. He needs to be calm, a clear head. And trust his instinct.
I tell you what, there's a lot of noise coming from the UAE players, and that's a good sign. It's not panicky noise, it's encouraging noise, it's belief. And it's 80 for 3 after 18 overs. Zimbabwe need 130 more to win. Change of voice for the next half hour in the commentary box. You'll be with Alistair Campbell and Tino Mawoyo.
Thanks, Neil. 80 for 3. Zimbabwe, they require another 130 to win. Current run rate of 4.4. Required run rate slowly climbing, 7.65 now. Good running. These two at the crease, very quick between the wickets. Chakaba and Sikandaraza. Regis Chakaba just anchoring the innings so far, 31 from 54. Just recently joined by Sikandaraza. Just the one on this occasion. Game nicely poised, Alistair.
In the balance, as they say. I just think Regis Chakaba, 32 of 55 deliveries, just the one boundary. He's found it tough going out there. He's just got to make sure he doesn't put undue pressure on his partner at the other end. They're going to have to make sure that there's equal scoring from both batsmen at the crease. He's been there quite a while. He just needs to make sure that he's got the start, so he's going to make sure that he hangs in there. Ah, lovely shot. Excellent stuff. If you were in any doubt about the quality of this man, Sikandaraza, you just need to take a look at this. Brilliantly played.
We're talking about the run rate, 7.6 to the over, but if you're going to be putting away the bad deliveries as nicely as that, and running in between the wickets as well as they have been, then Zimbabwe are well on their way to getting close to this run chase. Struggling with an injured top hand, Sikandaraza, but that stroke didn't give any indication of that sort.
Pulled away, up in the air, he's put him down. It was a tough chance. How costly will that prove to be in the end? They'll get 3 for it. And in the end, it was just out of reach. He was trying to get it in the gap between square leg and fine leg. It teased him for a long while, this. The dive in the end, and he's grasped it.
Yeah, this will tell us just how far away from him it was. It's a great effort. It's a brilliant effort. He went with two hands, couldn't get both there, and then tried with the one. Disappointed, Ashfaq. So were the rest of his teammates. But that is a good effort in the outfield.
There's been enough on offer insofar as loose balls are concerned in this particular innings, and I just think at times the Zimbabwe batsmen have been a little too frantic in trying to score, whereas if they just bide their time, then there's ample opportunity to score. 7 fours and 1 6 in the innings thus far. A single to end the over. Regis Chikava will retain strike. 19 bowled, 91 for 3.
And after 19 overs, Zimbabwe now 91 for 3.
कोई बात नहीं इमी और लत्ता तो जहूर नु देख ले लात तल छाड़ दे जहूर नु बस
Top wicket takers thus far in the Surya Cup. Carl Jarvis on top, as you saw. All Zimbabweans really. Tilo Palo up there as well. They have taken 19 UAE wickets. UAE bowlers. Last stage anyway, 3 yesterday or day before, 3 today. They've only taken 6. But that won't mean anything if they can get over the line here and level the series 1-all. That's up in the air. It's a long hop, and he's hit it straight down the match throw to mid-wicket. Unbelievable stuff from Sikandar Raza. There was a half tracker, and he's trying to hit it for 6 instead of just find the gap and hit it for 4. That's a poor shot. That's poor thinking, and he knows it.
It was a rank long hop, wasn't it? Looks like he got it right at the bottom of the bat, Sikandar Raza, looking to clear the deep square leg boundary. Comfortable catch. About 7 meters in, and a really important wicket. They put him down in the last over, Sikandar Raza. This time, the catch taken comfortably. So the end of Sikandar Raza, 11 from 9, 92 for 4.
चलो 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 सामने ले जल्दी जाओ सिप्पी तूने जल्दी जाना है कैडी तूने जल्दी जाना है गौर खान जल्दी जाना है
Captain PJ Moore to the crease. 44 matches for Zimbabwe. Average a little on the low side, strike rate as well on the low side. But that means nothing in this situation because he's got to come out and play a captain's innings. His team are behind the black ball here, 92 for 4. They've got plenty to do. Need a further 118 runs to win. Required run rate 7.53. Off the mark straight away. Tino, what's the time? Sort of 10 to 5, is it now? I tell you what, it's going to get dark around about 5:30, 20 to 6 with this cloud cover, maybe a little earlier. And we've still got, well, what's that, 16 overs to go, 15 overs to go, 35 overs after this, 15. I'm not so sure that we're going to get those overs in, number one. And therefore, Duckworth Lewis method is going to come into play. And for all of you at home, just wondering what the par score would be after this over 20, it would be 112 that Zimbabwe would need to be on if they're 4 wickets down. Interesting enough, prior to that wicket,
Ball, ball,
it was
Bani, ball, ball,
104
Bani.
that would have been required. And that's something that I reckon the changing room and us up here will watch and let you know about.
Oi!
Because I think that that last 5 overs
Manas,
is going to
Mane!
come into play. Even the
Well done,
scoreboard now, the manual scoreboard, is the lights are shining above the batsman's name, the bowler's name. You can see it's a very visible light. So I think
Down!
with 15 overs to go after this, there we go. Have a look at that by Haider and by Chikapa. You can see it. It's going to be very interesting how it plays out that last 15, 20 minutes or so. End of 20, 15 remaining, 94 for 4.
And after 20 overs, Zimbabwe now 94 for 4.
Take the ball.
94 for 4, Zimbabwe. And at the moment,
Under.
the UAE favourites in control.
KD Mani dono.
116 more needed at a run rate of just below 8. And Alistair, you were talking last over about Regis Chikapa and his scoring rate. And PJ Moore, we know, can strike the spin as well. And he does that when he's been batting a while. Talking about the light, how much longer will he be able to bat before he needs to start getting on with things.
Wide.
The first game was clinical from Zimbabwe perspective. Won the toss bowling first, got the ball in the right area, bowled the UAE out for 110.
Yai pe.
Won it.
Ah,
by
50
7
हाथ आगे
wickets, should have
कर.
won it by 8 wickets. Craig Evans getting out at the latter stages. But this game is going to be a coach's nightmare. They started off well and then just took their foot off the gas. Their minds went somewhere else. They finished well though, but the method of dismissals of all the Zimbabwe batsmen in this particular innings leaves a lot to be desired. All of them really, apart from Craig Evans, caught on the fence, hitting rake delivery straight down fielders' throats on the boundary. And all of them, when they were looking good, Sean Williams was looking in control, out, caught on the boundary. Sekunda Raza, long off, caught on the boundary. Solomon Mire, straight down the man's throat at square leg. Just got to be better than that and put a bigger price on their wicket, particularly in a run chase such as this. There's no gremlins in the wicket, just needed someone to hang him there. Balls that are there to score off, rotate the strike, and just none of them have been able to do that and got out in a very, very soft fashion.
Oi!
That's the thing where, other than Craig Irvin, as you say, you got one that just skidded on, kept a bit low. Guys looked like they were more or less in control and just, as you say, picked the man back on the boundary.
Shabab up. Wait.
And that brings up the 100
5
for Zimbabwe.
off the over so far. Just one ball left in the 21st.
Who's got a bigger nose, me or you?
No. Come on.
We're into 21, 100 up for Zimbabwe, 100 for 4.
Well done, boys. Shabbat. हाँ ठीक है बटी अच्छा कंडीशन है शाबाश में अदर Ball
Get a
sorry.
single.
Oi!
So, As I said, we'd update you after every over on the Duckworth. Lewis at the
Pass
end of the
it,
last
Peter,
over,
Peter, Peter,
Zimbabwe
Peter.
needed to be on 120, having lost these 4 wickets. So at the moment, 20 runs behind where they should be according to the DLS method.
Well ball, Money. Well done, Money. Well done, Emiander.
And the run rate creeping up as well all the time now at 7.98, so just under 8 to the over.
Samne, Shabash Sippy.
And what Haider and Mustafa are doing, and doing really well, is getting through their overs very quickly. Last over, they got 5 off it, and already halfway through this one, just a couple of singles. At run rate now, you were talking about 8.
Because of T20 cricket, when the run rate gets into double figures, doesn't really score or scare batsmen these days. You know, you can, needing 10s, 12s in the last few overs with wickets in hand and set batsmen. It's not unachievable. I just think they don't want it to get there too quickly. Need to make sure that they're still going along. Minimum 6 to the over, and when there's a boundary to be had, they put it away, and that always keeps you in touch. But dot balls are killers. Like that, another dot ball. This over's only gone for 2. 5 balls, 3 dots, 2 singles. And at the beginning of the over, as we said, it was 7.7, it's now 8.2, and that's what it does to you, and it creeps up very, very quickly. We'll get a single. Regis Chikava will retain the strike, just the 3 off the over. 22 bowled, 103 for 4.
Overrate. Ampa, is that level or 1 hour behind? Ronnie,
There we go, current run rate 4.68, below where it should be at this stage. Only a couple of big overs. They've managed to restrict them, particularly in that power play. They needed to be quite a lot better than what Zimbabwe achieved. Mustafa into his 6th over, 2 for 26 thus far. Remember, bowler can only bowl 7.
Oi!
He'll probably bowl through, you'd have to think. And it's a very healthy return. On this particular surface, that's not really offering much for the spinners. He's got the ball in the right area, and a few false strokes from the Zimbabwe batsman, and hey presto, you find yourself with a couple of wickets and bowled pretty well. As you did mention, good tactic, getting to his mark early, putting pressure on the batsman, gets through his overs very quickly. No time for the batsman to set and think. Another dot ball.
Before you know it, when you look up at the scoreboard, there's 1 or 2 balls left in the over. He actually bowled a wide in this over. If he hadn't, it'd just be the 2 deliveries left.
Well done, Ronnie. Well done,
Nicely
Ronnie.
bowled. Looked like that was a seam up delivery. Just pitching on a good length. Just
Well bowled, Ronnie.
straightening
Very well
more
bowled,
than,
Ronnie.
angling
Shabai
into the right
Mehdar,
hand
Shabai
as he
Kedi.
normally does.
Get up!
That's up in the air again. It's aimed at a fielder out in the deep.
Back up,
Luckily
back
for PJ Moore, he hasn't got it anywhere near the middle of the bat, so he'll survive.
Just wonder if the ball's just holding up in the surface a little bit. Again, that one hitting the lower part of the bat. .23 gone, 107 for 4.
एक बाकी है, well ball.
23 overs, 107 for 4.
Okay. एक ओवर पीछे हैं हम, एक ओवर पीछे हैं भाई लोग. वो बोल रहे हैं. अंपायर ने बोला है. इमरान हैदर, पूछ रहा हम लेवल है या पीछे है? पूरा. वो बोल रहा है. पूछ रहा हम बराबर हैं या ओवर एक पीछे हैं हम? बराबर है. एक ओवर पीछे हैं भाई लोग, शाबाश. हाँ.
43 of 68
single
deliveries
नहीं होना.
for Regis Jacoba and PJ Moore, new to the crease. Captain 4 of 12. Everybody getting a start. And not able to convert. Here's another one of those lobs, freebie. This time he's pulled it away all along the ground. And that'll be a much needed boundary for Zimbabwe.
This is well played by Regis Jacoba. I say so because he's rolled the wrists and made sure that he's played the ball down, unlike his counterparts before, who have tried to hit that up and over. Nice and alert. The man who should be backward of square is in front. So as long as he gets good willow on it like he did, and places it well, he'll get a boundary.
Let's be honest, that is a rank long hop, and it's got it's just rewards. Saying that he's played that well. See the rest that have departed before him weren't so fortunate insofar as their execution is concerned. But you are going to get the odd delivery or odd bad delivery from this bloke. You just got to make sure you put it away, and when you do get deliveries such as that, you've got to do better to get it in the gap, to get a single, get down the other end. Not the most athletic side in the field, the UAE. So they've got to be able to recognise that these two, they're good runners between the wickets and really put them under pressure in that circle. And you know, if you're not that athletic, you're going to try and steal a yard, get in closer.
Well
and
ball.
that's where you can get it past them and get it to the boundary for 4 or get a 2.
Very interesting umpire Sean George there, and he's calling wide, just taking a little step to the left. Second time I've seen him do that in the over.
Shaba Mani, koi baat nahi, Shaba.
Better, much better control when he slows that ball down. Lands it in a much better area. You can understand that he wants to get through his overs quickly. That's fine. It doesn't mean that he's got to rush his action and rush his delivery. Just making sure you get to the top of your mark early, and then focusing on the next delivery.
Back up. एक बार अंडा, कोई बात नहीं, Shaba down.
Something that probably should have been taken. That is not a good effort in the outfield. He should have taken this.
He really should have taken this. Regis Jacoba, he's looking for that gap at mid-wicket on the boundary. And really, that is a regulation catch.
Oh!
Another chance goes down here for the UAE. 24 gone, 115 for 4.
Shaba down. Quick change, yaar, jaldi karo apne fielding. कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. निडो भाई, अब एक कवर पीछे है. बट्टी पीछे जाना, बट्टी.
lastly will that be?
Oi.
Sekunda Raz's
Okay, कोई बात नहीं, ये भी
chance
ठीक हो
in the
गया.
outfield, decidedly more difficult than that last one. Didn't cost too much. Will Regis Chikapa be able to take full advantage and bat through and win the game for his team? You're chasing a score like this and you're needing 8.5, 9 to the over from here on in. You just need a couple of big overs, don't you? It's very difficult to score consistently at 8, 9 to the over. As I said, you need to make sure that it's no less than 6 or 7, but you just need a couple of overs that go for 15, 16, 18. That really gets you up with the game. Well, 50 for Regis Chikapa. It's been a bit of a battle out there, but he's hung in. And he finds himself not out 50. 75 deliveries. But more importantly, he's still there. He's still hanging in for his team. And he's got to make sure that he bats it out to the end. Oh, he's got all of that. That's gone a long way back from PJ Moore. It was short of length, and he short-arm jabbed it over long on for 6.
We talked about PJ Moore and how well he likes to strike the spinners. Hits the ball really well over the offside, long off, long on, and deep square. This is an example, slightly short, and he's crunched that over the man at long on.
Back up. Well ball, Lala.
Maximum always makes a difference in over, doesn't it? Just the 3 singles, but that maximum makes it 9 off the over and up with the run rate.
Wait. One on that
Dot ball to end the 25th. 10 overs remaining, 124 for 4.
Good
86 to win
ठीक है.
via the Duckworth Lewis Stern method from 60
मतलब किसी
balls.
पहुंच जाओ.
That's the equation the Zimbabweans have to deal with in the fading light here at Harare Sports Club. Having said that, just seems to have cleared up a wee bit. The sun's peeking through, so maybe we might be okay.
Bas,
It's
पीछे
gonna
हो जा.
prove, I reckon, to be a fascinating
Bas.
finish this.
आपको
There's
सिग्नल
a
में
huge
बात से.
anticipation amongst the crowd that have turned up here. And at only 4 down, needing 8.6 to the over, I still reckon the game is very much in the balance. Mustafa has finished his spell, 7 overs, 2 for 38.
मिलेगा. Yes. Back up. Ball ready.
He's looking to go straight back over the bowler's head, isn't he? Fortunately, possibly a bit fuller than he would have liked. The inside half of the bat. 2 runs as Zimbabwe will look at from getting that delivery. Every run crucial.
Oh! Well done,
2. Just the 1.
Well ball.
Broken into song. And the Castle corner stand. Exciting times as we approach the end of this second one-day match in the Surya Cup.
Oh! Ball me.
He's just got to make sure, Regis Chikapa, that he rotates gets the strike, does his job. After having a decent over the over before, 9 from it, suddenly the next over has passed them by. They've only got 3 or 4 deliveries. Basically back to square one again. Another dot ball from Regis to cover. Pressure applied. Well, not only himself, but his partner as well. Over 9s to the over now for the first time. Oh, he's got through the shot too early. It was a short one, but he's turned the head too early. 26 bowled, a good one for the UAE. Just the 3 from it, 127 for 4.
26 overs, 127 for 4.
$169 for 9 and 35 overs for the UAE, adjusted to 210 via the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. And Zimbabwe 127 for 4 in reply. There's the equation, 83 or 54 required for Zimbabwe to win the game. So there's the change that we talked about. Kadir is going to come back into the act. 5 overs he's bowled thus far, none for 23 his return. At the end of that last over, the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern score, it would have to be 146. There we go, he's gone for the pull shot. I tell you what, that's missed by a minuscule amount. Got through the shot too early, did Regis Chikava. Correction on that Duckworth-Lewis-Stern score, 140 they would need to be on at the end of the 26 over. So 13 runs adrift, that's always a good benchmark. I wonder if any of these batsmen have got that little Duckworth-Lewis in the pocket or not. Do you think that that's the case or not?
I don't think they've got it in the pocket, Al. The big old-fashioned scoreboard has got the Duckworth-Lewis par for the end of the over that they're batting. So pretty sure they'll know that. PJ Moore's just taking a glance there now. So they've got what they need in terms of the Duckworth-Lewis par score.
Okay, my second question, you think the players know that it's on the scoreboard and that's where you look?
Well, I'm hoping that PJ Moore's glance to there it is, at the end of this over. The par score will be 146. I'm hoping that glance to the scoreboard is him having a look at that, and he knows it. Shot! Intelligent shot from Regis Chakaba. What he did well there was he moved late, got inside the line of the ball, didn't give the bowler an opportunity to change his delivery. And the man was up at 45, so once he got it up and over there, it was always going to be 4.
Yeah, when you want to play this particular stroke and you take the decision to do that, that's probably the best ball you'd want to receive, right in the area. You can just flick it over. We see it so many times in the modern era, that particular stroke. It's like watching a forward defence, really. It's just one of those par things that do happen at this stage of a game. You need a boundary, finally up in the circle, batsman will take it on. He does it again, this time not in the area. It allows him to get it around the corner. But again, even with that boundary, Regis Chikava still only 5 off the over. Remember I said it was 9 to the over at the beginning of the service, now 9.5 to the over. And it's getting to that stage of the innings that they really need to talk about how they're going to approach these next few overs and what each batsman's role will be. Full toss. Splices it, Regis Chikava. Doesn't get all of it, but they'll get through for 2. So 7 off the over, 27 bowled, 134 for 4.
पांच हो गए
82 dots, I should say, for Zimbabwe. That is a telling statistic amongst all of that there, and also only 9 4s and 2 6s, so they haven't been able to find the boundary and too many dot balls. That's up in the air, and it's in the gap, I think. Yeah. Oh, no, what have you done? He hasn't anticipated the spin. And it's gone to the boundary for 4. Jubilation for the supporters in the stands. And Sultan, well, he's made a real meal of that.
Watch the spin, Sultan, watch the spin.
Sultan.
And obviously desperately trying to get there to cut off the boundary. A fair bit of spin, and it goes past the left hand. A welcome boundary for PJ Moore and Zimbabwe. And the fans.
Oh, it's in the gap again. He's trying to play the same stroke, PJ Moore, this time a thicker outside edge, goes over backward point. Which way they come, as long as they come. A lot of these fans in the stands would have been here 8 or 9 months ago in Tina Moyo. They would have been in full voice, only to leave heartbroken. Will they be able to leave full of jubilation this time around or not? Oh, he's gone again. This time he's got enough on it. That's out the middle of the bat, and that's out of the ground as well. Excellent strike from PJ Moore. This is exactly the over Zimbabwe needed at this juncture in the game. And PJ Moore, the captain of the Zimbabwe outfit, so far anyway, has come to the party.
Well, Alistair, you talked at the end of the last over about it's about time the Zimbabwean batsmen decide what role is going to be taken by who going forward in this match. I think that conversation was had at the last over, and PJ Moore's decided that he's going to get on with the business.
28 of 25 deliveries now. PJ Moore, 2 6s, 1 4. And as I mentioned, 12 off the over. That's the more important stat. They needed a big over, a big-ish over. They needed something that went for 16, 18. This is the over. He needs another boundary here.
Get it!
He's gone for it. Hasn't quite got all of it. It'll just be the single, but the intent is very clear from PJ Moore, targeting this over, targeting the boundary, trying to bring that run rate down a little bit.
Talking about that run rate, it's come down to 8.59. 13 off the over so far. 2 balls to go in this over. Ida, I think, is struggling with gripping the ball.
I think there was mud on the ball, you know, that's what he was wiping off. There has been a bit of overnight rain today as well. I think it just dug in the turf and came back with a big chunk on it. Yeah, reverse sweep straight to the fielder. They're going to scamper through for another single. Good awareness from PJ Moore, knowing full well that he can put some pressure on in the inner circle. And he called straight away, got down there very easily. 14 off the over, 1 ball remaining. Single to retain the strike, or go for the fence, Tino?
Single to retain the strike, Alistair. It's been a good over, and there's lots more overs to play and get the team across the line.
That it is. Down to long off, a single. And a good over that from a Zimbabwean perspective. 7 overs remaining, 149 for 4.
overs, Zimbabwe 149 for 4.
सर्कल खत्म हो गया रेडी सामने कौन है पीछे
They needed a bit of impetus, did the Zimbabweans, and they got just that in the last over. 15 from it, PJ Moore. man finding the boundary with a maximum. And there's the signal for the last power play of the innings from Aino Chabi, umpire from Zimbabwe, making his one-day international debut today. Righto, it's set up very, very nicely here. The Zimbabweans, they need 61 to win. Can they do it, or can the UAE pull off another victory over Zimbabwe and break the hearts of all the fans here at Harare Sports Club? Oh, it's really well played. Just opens the shoulders, opens the hips, threads it through the gap. And, well, I think that'll get to the boundary. It'll be a very interesting call. I think that he's had ball in hand when it's slid over the ropes. The umpire asking the fielder, I reckon he's going to go, I don't know. It's going to stay at 2. And he knows full well, I reckon, that he's slid into the ropes then. Yeah, a right smile from Aino Chabi. He's got to take the player at his word. And he reckons that he's made a fair save.
150 is up for Zimbabwe.
Well, that will be very interesting in the final analysis, whether that did go for 4 or not. Righto, to take you through the next few overs to the end, Neil Manthorpe and Patient Charumbira.
Yes, I don't think Mohammed Usman would be alone in list of fielders who would say, I don't know, in that situation. Fully aware that runs
Well done,
are
Ron, well done.
absolute premium, and also that we're not using a third umpire for
Back up. Well ball, Kedi.
It's well said, isn't it? He's part of the crowd, yeah. Young crowd. Parents coming in, their children to support their national side. Second one we've seen in this over.
Want to come?
Nail-biting finish this. For the crowd's getting involved, up on their feet, edges of sit stuff here. Nasty blow that, it's gone straight over the bowler's head. Crispy timing that from PJ Moore, the captain. Playing a little gem. Overpitched on that occasion by Kadir. He's having a win with the umpire, Sean George. I wonder what's that all about.
It's interesting, very interesting. He wants to change his gloves, but everybody is aware that light is fading, and really, really quickly. He said to the umpire, look, my gloves are soaking wet, I cannot grip the bat. I know it'll use up another couple of minutes. Oh, he's got the Duckworth-Lewis sheet. He can't see it on the scoreboard, or he wants to know what it is ball by ball, actually.
And that's probably the case, and he scored for the gloves, and the 12th
There.
man ran in and he also had the shit in his hand and just handed it over to the captain.
So it wasn't gloves. That was the excuse. They're 3 ahead. Zimbabwe, for the first time, are ahead on Duckworth Lewis. That's what the target will be at the end of the next over. They need to be 166 if they don't lose another wicket at the end of the next over. Everybody here knows that it is highly unlikely that we're going to get another 6 overs. The 35 overs is extremely unlikely. The target at the end of this over was 158. They're 161 for 4, so they're 3 runs ahead for the first time. Zahur Khan to bowl the next over. Oh, and Reggie Chikova's missed out there. That was an easy run down to third man. Just what he was trying to do. He's trying to give the responsibility and the strike to the captain. He's played his part, Reggie Chikova, hasn't he, Patient? 60 from 87 balls. He's just got to keep a cool head and get bat on ball.
He's done well. He's been the glue of the Zimbabwe innings throughout the day. Chikova is going to be there right at the end. And all he has to do now is get off strike and give PJ Moore, who we all know can strike the ball cleanly.
That's much better. Get bat on ball. Push for the second. He wants it. Coming back for the second. Powerful throw.
Well done.
That's good running. That is excellent running from this two. Turning the ones into twos is what you need at this stage of the innings. Chikova just pushes that one through the offside, and they immediately two is the call. And look at that. No hesitation whatsoever. And they hustle and bustle, and that's good running. Excellent stuff.
Wasn't a great deal more that Sultan Ahmed, 12th man, could do there. He attacked the ball, he picked it up cleanly, it was a powerful throw. It's a very good pull shot from Reggie Chikova. I tell you what, he's managed to control that from about head height.
He's rolled his wrist on top of that. There's the crowd getting involved. Look at that, everyone on his feet. They're all on their feet, and they're anticipating something special from this dude. It's going to be a nail biter, a hamdinger of a finish this at Harare Sports Club. And it looks like the captain, PJ Moore, is up for the task as well. We've already seen one straight over the bowler's head in the previous over. He can hit it clean. Zimbabwe are going to need a few lofty blows from their captain. He's going to play the captain's innings.
46 needed from 33 balls. He's flat batted that baseball style. Carved it over the top of mid-off. Now, the asking rate, Patient, 8.4 at the moment, but that'll change very quickly with a couple of boundaries. They have to remember that. It's not the end of the world if they suffer a couple of dot balls. They can catch up, particularly if PJ Moore stays there.
Sleeping down in the Zimbabwe dressing room, Timson Maruma is the next man in. Big swing and a miss, and signal from the umpires, 2 for the over. So are you allowed 3, Anas? Or is it just 2?
Two. It's it is worth pointing out that Timson Maruma is now a specialist batsman. He didn't used to be in his first incarnation of his career, his international career. But so they have a specialist batsman, and he's become a very fine ball striker. Then they have Donald Tirupano. Reggie Chikova is struggling a wee bit at the moment. Light fading very quickly. 30 overs gone. 165 for 4.
After 30 overs, Zimbabwe 165 for 4.
166 is the Duckworth-Lewis par score. Zimbabwe are 165. So that is a par score, 166. If Zimbabwe were on 166 and the game was called off a bad light, it would be a tie.
So what you mean is that at this moment in time, Zimbabwe are 1 run short?
Yes, they are. They're losing by 1 run. That 173 is where they need to be, par score, at the end of this over coming up. So they'll need 8.
He's going to move on now.
9 to win.
Chakava has also got to join the party here. You can't leave it all for your captain. He's got to try and also find the boundary somehow.
He's picked that up very well indeed. He's seen it nicely, but the fielder has got to it and then I think knocked it on. Sultan Ahmed is the man out on the boundary. The umpire is asking, and we've got another one saying, I don't know. Mohammed Naveed is the bowler. Here he is, Sultan Ahmed. I think he knocks it onto the rope. Gets to it, does the good work there, but then loses control. Or has he made a terrific recovery? Oh, yeah, it's on the boundary. It's on the rope.
That's going to be given 4. Surely he knows. Surely you've got to be honest.
Well, the ball has actually hit the rope.
The problem is we don't have a third umpire. We don't have a TV umpire, so it's going to be up to the fielder to honor.
There's no doubt about that one. You know what? That's really, really well played by PJ Moore. And the irony is that it was a good ball as well. Fired in, Yorker length, in at the batsman's feet, and he's got the corner of the bat on it. There's an element of luck, but also a big element of skill. He's played it between his legs. You've seen some of the best players in the world play shots like that. Australian former captain Steve Smith become a master at playing that shot, and that was just superbly done.
No, they'll take it, Zimbabwe, however they come at this moment in time. Inside edge, outside edge, doesn't matter how they come, they need to find the boundary.
Oh, that is very nicely hit. It'll only be a single unless it's another misfield. You know, it is possible. It is possible that Sultan Ahmed didn't see that ball ricochet onto the rope, but it does seem. I mean, he might have thought he was diving, wasn't he? He might have thought, well, it's in the field of play. I must have stopped it. Possible. He didn't see the critical moment where the ball rolled onto the rope. Let's hope it doesn't come down to 2 runs, but there's a good chance it will.
Pretty tight here. We've already seen 2 incidences like that. It's tricky, but there's a man back there doing the cleaning up at third man. We'll keep it just to the 1 run. They're already on par as far as the Duckworth-Lewis par score is concerned in this over, and there's still 2 balls to go in the over. So Zimbabwe, well on course.
Remember, the situation changes again radically if they lose a wicket. So they are 1 run ahead of the par score at this stage. They're winning by 1 run. Another boundary or 2 would help. Oh, and it's gone over the fielder's head. Well, well, well. What a terrible misjudgment. The man on the boundary, Rohan Mustafa, has thought he had it covered, didn't he? And he's just horribly misjudged the bounce, and it's gone over his head. If he'd taken 2 steps back, he would have fielded it perfectly.
I reckon that's karma. Light's gone really bad. Ordinary piece of fielding in the deep there. And long on. It was a lofted on drive from Chakava, and it just bounces over the fielder. Awkward bounce.
So 12 off the over, they're now 5 ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis score. Put that to 6 ahead now with another single for the last ball of the 31st over. 31 runs to win from the last 4 overs. If we get them in, it's 179 for 4.
And now That's the end of the 31st over. Zimbabwe now 179 for 4.
Well, PJ Moore is suddenly requiring a bit of treatment. Physiotherapists on the field, the umpires know the light's going. Everybody knows the light's going. We've got probably another 5 minutes. No more than that. We've got 5 minutes of acceptable light remaining. Zimbabwe are 6 runs ahead on the Duckworth-Lewis score. They needed to be 173 after 31 overs, 4 wickets down, and they're 179. So, I must say, PJ Moore has decided at an opportune moment to call for some physiotherapy. Sean George has seen it all before. He's standing in his 44th one-day international. He's stood in a couple of hundred domestic games. There we go, the UAE players have got the Duckworth-Lewis sheet out there with them as well, because it does come down to a ball-by-ball analysis right now. You can't take it over by over, because that's how quickly the light is fading. I think it's barely acceptable at the moment. It's not really, is it? It's not. It's really poor.
It's dark and gloomy at the moment. It's really dark. And Sean George, the man in the picture, just talking on his walkie-talkie. I'm not sure what he's discussing. It's probably something to do with the light, I suppose. But as far as we're concerned, umpire, I know Chubby's already walking back to his mark. Sean George having a word with one of the UAE players.
That's
What's that all about?
Mohammed Usman is just trying to clarify the situation. I think one thing is certain is that we're not going to get the 4 overs in, unless they both agree to play in the dark. Maybe with like little headlight head torches. We're not going to get 4 overs in. It'll be properly dark by then.
Keep the spinners on, maybe we might get 1 or 2 overs in, but I'm not too sure about the seamers at this stage. Really gloomy. It's getting dark here at Aurora Sports Club.
Right, the par score at the end of this over coming up is 181. It's a tie if Zimbabwe only score 2 runs. Any more than 181, they're still ahead on Duckworth-Lewis. A wicket will change everything for the UAE. A wicket will put them 10 runs to the good. And it's going to be the leg spin of Imran Haider to continue from the city end.
That's good cricket.
That
Looking
is
for
good
2.
cricket, isn't it? It's very clever batting. There you go. Scores a level once again. That physiotherapist was worked wonders on PJ Moore, hasn't he?
It was magic. Let's have a look at the running between the wickets. Just keep a close eye on PJ Moore as he scampers through the first one hard.
There's another very good piece of cricket. Very clever. Oh no, they're not going to come back this time. But that's clever cricket from Reggie Chikapa. He's taken him into the 70s. 72 from 96 balls.
He knows at this moment in time all they need is to just get the few singles, get above the par score as far as the Duckworth-Lewis is concerned, and not lose a wicket. That's the key. You've got to keep the wickets in hand.
From the very moment it was announced that it would be a 35 over a game, so that we wouldn't have time to get the overs in, it was clearly evident. So if there's any controversy here, the match officials have brought it upon themselves. They have brought it upon themselves. They've been either terribly advised about what time light fades, or they've just taken no notice of the situation. So if there's any criticism of the match officials, if and when this game is called off prematurely and there's a Duckworth-Lewis result, it's the match officials' fault. Gosh, this is clever batting from Reggie
Absolutely intelligent batting. Little nudge onto the onside. easy two. Everyone is on the edge of the circle, but man on the boundary. They're trying to protect the boundaries, but Zimbabwe don't really need any boundaries at this stage. All they need is to be above or ahead of the duck with Lewis Park and not lose a wicket.
There are the match officials primarily responsible. They don't do the calculations themselves. They'll rely on the statisticians to do that, but they're the ones that endorse them. Steve Bernard is the match referee. Russell Tiffin is the third umpire. They're the ones who have to sign off on the numbers that they're given. And as I said, they may have been badly advised, but we were never, ever going to finish this match in normal light.
I agree 100% with you there, Neil.
Huge appeal for leg before wicket. I think he's got a bottom edge on it, didn't he? And I think they were hedging their bets, the UAE fielders. They ran up for the LBW initially and then wondered whether he might have bottom edged it onto his boot. 32 overs gone, it's 185 for 4. 25 needed to win from the last 3 overs. The umpires have decided that the light is not good enough. The game has been called off and Zimbabwe have taken an unassailable 2-0 lead in this 4-match series for the Surya Pump Cup. What a shame. It would have been preferable and far more satisfying to both teams if the game had been able to reach a natural conclusion, but poor administration, poor officiating has meant inevitably, as everybody who's ever been to this wonderful city in this wonderful country before, everybody knew that we wouldn't have enough light. There is no artificial light. The umpires have said, I'm sorry, but by my calculation, Zimbabwe needed to be 181 as a par score. They're 185, so how do we name this again? Zimbabwe win by 3 runs on the Duckworth-Lewis method, Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. Win by 6 wickets, but they were 3 runs ahead of where they needed to be. Yeah, so they win by 6 wickets on Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method, and you know what? All credit to PJ Moore, the captain, and to Reggie Jakava in equal measure. I don't know which one of them played the more important role. The very, very different roles. Reggie Jakava, 74 off 99 balls, a strike rate of 75. PJ Moore has made 49 off 35. 2 4s and 3 6s. He produced the one big over when Zimbabwe desperately needed it. 16 came off that over and he dragged the team back into it. 2 4s, 3 6s. I don't know, hard one to split for the Man of the Match award. I guess it's one of those two.
That was a real cameo, that captain's innings from PJ Moore, and I think he deserves the Man of the Match award for that knock. It was an unbelievable innings. We saw right at the back end of the innings when it all looked very gloomy for Zimbabwe. And Jakava as well, the mainstay, he was the glue, as we said earlier on. The Zimbabwe innings, 74 he got off 99 balls, gutsy. He was there, he was struggling to start, but then he grafted and grafted. And looking at the partnerships again, Jakava featuring in all the partnerships, and the one notable one is between the captain PJ Moore and Jakava, 92 of 80, and that's courtesy of some lofty striking from the captain. Zimbabwe 185 for 4 in the end, ahead by 3 runs and winning by 6 wickets on the Duckworth-Lewis method.
Yeah, and you know, nobody bowled poorly there. Nobody's gone for more than 6.5 and over, and I thought they showed great control. I think they've been very, very unlucky indeed, United Arab Emirates here today. And do you know what? There was still 25 needed off the last 3 overs, and I wouldn't have said that's a give for the Zimbabweans at all. So if the game had reached a natural conclusion, I think it would have been extremely close. So the target was 210 for Zimbabwe, but they get home. 3 overs lost to bad light, 185 for 4, and United Arab Emirates making 169 for 9. We lost 30 overs in the middle of the day, 15 from both innings. That's why it's reduced to 35 overs a side. Unfortunately, insufficient light to get through. PJ Moore, 49 from just 35 deliveries. Terrific captain's innings in just his second game in charge. And Regis Chikabva, 74. What a game we've had. It was one-sided on the first one, Zimbabwe winning by 7 wickets. This has been an absolute cracker, and there are still 2 more to come. You can see by the lights in our commentary box just how dark it is. Impossible to play, really. It's just a lottery. The next game's on Sunday and Tuesday. It's a hectic itinerary. Play, rest, play, rest, play, rest. We'll be having the post-match presentation in just a moment. We've got the 2 captains and the man of the match, Dirk Viljoen's waiting down there. Hope they'll all be able to see each other, because the light is almost gone. We'll have to turn the lights on brighter in the commentary box, which is just above where the presentation is about to happen. What a entertaining day's cricket, day and evening's cricket, and hopefully much more of the same on Sunday and on Tuesday. So hopefully Dirk Viljoen is ready for us down at the post-match presentation. 2 captains, man of the match, and Dirk Viljoen. Good evening, Dirk.
Welcome to the presentation ceremony for the second match in the Surya Pump Cup 2019 between Zimbabwe and the United Arab Emirates. We'd like to thank Zimbabwe Cricket for organising the series, and also express the gratitude to all the fans and all the sponsors for their valued support. What a fantastic game of cricket we've seen. Lots of rain around, but ultimately it went down to the wire, and Zimbabwe winning by 6 wickets. I'd like to also welcome my presentation party, Mr. Minos Mudukuti, Zimbabwe Cricket Board member. And today, a very simple decision. However, we must give an extended congratulations for Carl Jarvis for his bowling this morning, picking up 4 wickets, and Reggie Chikabva for batting the whole innings and getting Zimbabwe home. But the commentators have decided for his match-winning performance of 49 not out of 35 balls, today's man of the match, and to collect his award from Mr. Mudukuti is the captain, PJ Moore. Thanks, Peach. If you can just join me here. Peach, well done. First of all, your man of match performance. It was a tough little period there. I think Zimbabwe under a little bit of pressure, but you came in, played your shots, got us back, and won it in the end. You must be very happy with that.
Yeah, thank you, Dirk. That's my first man of the match performance. And as a young boy, you always want to win games for your country, so I'm happy that it happened today.
Well, congratulations on your personal performance. Let's have a look at your captain's performance and the team as the winning captain. You said after match 1 you couldn't have asked for anything better. Today you're under a little bit of pressure. The bowling went really well in the beginning, then fell away a little bit. Big score to chase on that wicket, but the boys came through.
No, they did, and full credit to the 2 guys who batted in the middle for the UAE. The conditions were quite tough this morning, and I think they did a fantastic job to post that sort of a total. But credit to my bowlers when we came out after the rain break. I think we came out and we bowled exceptionally well. The guys fielded very well, and I was very proud of the way they came out and played.
I asked you as well about areas that you could be better. Was that almost a perfect performance?
There's always room for improvement. We don't like games to be this close. You like to win it earlier. So yeah, there's definitely something that we can work on. I think our bowling unit has been fantastic, but I think as batters, maybe just to, once you get in, to bat through and win the game.
PJ, well done today. It's getting dark. Go and enjoy your victory. 2-0 up. Good luck for Sunday.
Cheers. Thanks, Village.
Right, so that concludes our post-match presentation. PJ Moore wins the Man of the Match award. Zimbabwe win the game. They go 2-0 up. But guess what? We're only halfway. There's 2 more exciting games for you. We'll be back here on Sunday morning at 9:20 CAT. Make sure you join us for Game 3 of the Surya Pump Cup 2019. Thanks, Hugo. Well, let me tell you, at halfway stage at lunchtime, when the rain had finally cleared up and UAE had batted their 35 overs, Zimbabwe were under pressure. They were set 210 after the Duckworth-Lewis method had stepped in. And it was going to be a hard task. They lost early wickets. Solomon Miri went cheaply. Craig Irvin, the in-man for Zimbabwe, he went cheaply. And Sean Williams and Sukhinder Razabat fell away as well. Reggie Chikava stood solid, and he ended up not out in the end to carry Zimbabwe home. It was decided, though, that even though his innings was really good to ensure that Zimbabwe won today, the man of the match went to PJ Moore for his 49 not out off 35 deliveries. Earlier on in the day as well, best performing figures for Carl Jarvis in his career, 4 for 16 in his allotted overs. They ensured that the UAE only got 169 for 9. And Zimbabwe, in the end, courtesy of PJ Moore and Reggie Chikava, getting home comfortably by 6 wickets. So give me that one. You can keep that one. My keys you got, eh? Okay, we're done.